Well, hello everyone. I wanted to make this really short video to answer a few questions. Some of you guys have asked me questions on YouTube, and it looks like I haven't responded to you, but it's not because I haven't tried. I'm told that there's some kind of setting in YouTube or maybe even Google that needs to be turned on or readjusted so that I can answer back to you. But anyway, most of the questions are like this: what size and what bait do I use? So here we go. That is a 1/2 ounce gotcha jig head with a 3-inch striper sniper swim bait. And that's my go-to bait right there. When I pull into some stripers that's feeding under birds, when I'm chasing the birds around, that's what I pick up every time to start with. If I pull into a cove and I look down at the depth finder and there's fish all on the bottom, say 15 to 25 feet, and I'm not getting all that many bites by casting that around and letting it go down 5 or 6 feet, I grab a rod with this tied on. This is a gotcha 3/4 ounce jig head with a 4-inch striper sniper swim bait. This will get down, this head, the way it's made, drops really fast. So it'll get right on the bottom and you can come along real slow and get good bites. Sometimes you pick up pretty big fish. Other thing is this. I'm about to release a video here. I'm going to upload it to YouTube here in a little while, and then probably release it next week. But a buddy of mine was fishing, and he was taking this bait and throwing it on the bottom when they wouldn't bite, and he was yo-yoing it back to the boat, and he was getting some really nice stripers, getting some really big bites. This bait right here is a Bass Pro Shops bait, and it is better to do that with. This bait drops really slow. It's pretty weighty bait. When you get it on the bottom and work it up and let it fall back down to the bottom, of course your bite is going to be on the fall every time. But this bait right here is excellent. I know some guys that fish this bait for stripers exclusively. They don't use anything else. This bait can kind of do it all. I use it for just a specific reason, for yo-yoing it back to the boat. There's another way. If you find yourself in that situation and you pull in to a cove, fish are everywhere on the bottom and you're not getting but just a few bites, and they're kind of small fish on the top. If you see the fish on the bottom and your depth finder's wrapped up with fish, you can take this, a super fluke, and if this is on a 1/2 ounce gotcha head, and just do something called dead sticking. You tie the line right to the top, and I pull it to the back here in the back, so the line is coming like this going up, and you strip off line. You have to measure on your rod, in 2 feet intervals, that kind of thing, and strip off your line, let it go down to the depth you see the fish, and just hold it still. It takes a little patience. They don't hit it immediately sometimes, but sometimes they will. But you got to be quick on the hook set, because it doesn't take them long to realize this is something they made a mistake and they don't want it, and they'll spit it right out. But that dead sticking works like a dream. This also, you don't need to dead stick it. You can cast it just like I cast these, just like I cast this 3-inch, and they love it. And what works best is the paddle. They make one that's a paddle tail, but this with the straight tail, from my experience, seems to work better. A lot of people use this and they don't use anything else, on this lake. Lastly, in the springtime, now these baits I just showed you, that's what I throw in the spring as well. Early spring, February, March, and April. But in late May and June, when the fish will smack a bait on top, myself and some of my friends throw this. This is a storm chug bug. Of course, the drawback with it, of course, is when you get one of these, you've got to put them in the net and use something like this or a boca grip to get the fish off out of the net. You don't want to stick your hand in there. I've made that mistake too many times, because if you've had a 10 or 12 pound striper loose in the bottom of your boat, and he's angry and he's got this hung out of his mouth, you already know that's a good way to go to the hospital. So I've had these hooks in me many times over the past 40 years. So my advice would be grab him with this. Get him out of the net with it, and then once you get the hooks off of him, then you can grab him with your hand. So I hope that answers a lot of your questions. And if you've asked me a question on YouTube and I haven't got back with you, it's only because I can't. I've tried, but I can't. And I can't do it on my computer either because the reply button is not there in just some circumstances. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to put out another video here very soon. I got 2 more to put out. I hope you enjoy them. See you next time.